back with yet another episode of With Time We Can. For this week's episode, I got a very special guest this week, somebody that I connected with on the inside that is now out doing this thing in the communities of Philadelphia and Berks County. So without further ado, I would like to introduce everybody to Mr. Michael Butler. What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro?
Chilling. Yeah, so before we get started, just to give you a little background, Michael has his own organization called MANN UP. And I don't even want to do no talking about MANN UP. I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth, the OG, the mastermind behind the beautiful project. But before we get into that, I just want to get a little bit of information about you, bro. So what's going on, man? Like, talk to me a little bit about your childhood, where you come from, and, you know, how was you raised, the family structure, all that.
All right, so I was born in North Philadelphia, but I was raised in West Philly. I come from a single parent home. Right. However, my dad was always in my life.
Nice,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, growing up in two locations, it was kind of hard sometimes because, you know, my dad, suburbs, my mother, West Philadelphia, in the hood, 59th Street.
Right.
So it was always me transforming to go to different places.
Yeah.
My mom worked, I went to school, you know what I mean? Got with the wrong crowd sometimes. But when them times came up, like she would send me with my father.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So now I'm going to Chester County. And Chester County is like rural, suburban, you know what I mean? Whole different platform. So yeah, man, basically my childhood was just transitioning from two spots, always trying to fit in, man. And you know, that's basically what happened as a child with me.
Damn, so how frequent was the transitions? Like, was it every week, every other week?
Well, my dad would come get us every other week.
Okay.
So 2 weeks I'll be with my pop. But, you know, I would get in trouble sometimes with my mom, and then I got to a point where I was too old for my mom to put her hands on me.
Yeah.
So she said, you gotta move with your father.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I would go up with my dad, and this happened a couple times because I was a little too rowdy for up there. You know what I'm saying? So he had to send me back. You know what I mean? But yeah, just that transformation, going from that point being with my mom, you know what I'm saying, to not having your mom, you know what I mean, and going with your father who can't really show you that type of love that your mom can.
Right.
And vice versa.
Right.
When you leave your father and you go with your mom and you can't get that love,
same discipline.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was always conflicting for me. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yep.
I wonder what that would be like. Like, can you think back to the emotions that you felt as a child going from getting comfortable with mom and then having to be uncomfortable and go get comfortable with dad and then have to switch right back so many times in your life? What did that do to you?
Well, it caused me to have, and not on like the split personalities, like mental, like schizophrenia, anything like that, but it caused me to be different people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even in Philadelphia, like just being in school, like, and you answer questions. Like I found myself sitting at the back of the class because I didn't want my peers to be like, oh, that's who this boy think he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or then when I get with my father, I'm in that position where I'm in an environment where I can flourish educationally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's not a problem with me saying I'm smart.
Right.
I mean, people don't look at you for being smart as a bad thing. So that emotional pull that it would take, sometimes it would be like, who want me?
Right.
What am I doing that's so bad that you guys keep, tossing me off on each other? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely was a transition like that, and that caused me to be like a person who was always drawn into myself. But I did a couple things when I was young. My mom was a makeup artist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she used to work for a show called New York Undercover.
All right.
So she got me on that show. I actually played on that show.
Nice.
New York Undercover. I did an episode with Sean Nelson. He played in Fresh.
Okay.
I did an episode with him. And when I was 16, I actually was signed to a record deal with Sony, under part of Sony. So I did certain things like this, and I didn't talk about them just because of, you know, those transitions, what they made me. They made me drawn in, and it wasn't something that, you know what I mean, I ever really wanted to do. It was always to please my father or my mother.
Okay.
My mother wanted me to go into acting, so I did it because I always wanted to please her. My dad wanted me to sing, so I did it because I wanted to please him. So I never was ever at a time where it was like pleasing for me. I could be happy a little bit, but you know, when you really love something, you love to do it, and that wasn't really my thing.
Damn, yo, that's fucking deep. And it's crazy because people just don't understand when you take the mom and the dad out of the house and separate them, the lasting effects that has on a child's like just talking to you, it's like, damn, I can't even imagine going that. Like, luckily for me, I grew up with both my parents and they stayed together. But also, man, just how articulate, smart you are, how perseverant you are, like, it don't even seem like you did all that jail time. You know what I'm saying? But just because, like, the family structure, it just did something to you. You know, and unfortunately, going into our next segment, like, so what led up to your incarceration, and what, if you don't mind sharing exactly, like, what happened? Like, what did you even get yourself into?
Well, what happened with my incarceration, like I said, basically everything just got like overwhelming, going back and forth, and not only was I going back and forth, but my father also had women in his life. So now,
like girlfriends,
or even like he was married as well. So even have to adjust to another woman and her rules. You know what I'm saying? So it just got to a point where everything was overwhelming, bro, and I just went on my own too fast. I wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying? I was about to attend college. Well, I was in college, and you know, that summer I was about to go back to do some summer courses before, you know, the start of school, so I can get, you know what I mean, caught up, because you want to party when you you know what I mean? So you know what I mean, I was going to do some summer courses, man, and man, I just was with the wrong person at the wrong time, bro, and I don't really like to talk about it, but I will, because like I stayed in prison for 17 years for a crime I didn't do.
Wow.
I got a person that, you know, actually did it, and it hurts me, right, because I made my family suffer. You know what I mean? Like, because like I spent 17 years away, and they knew that it wasn't me. Now I take responsibility because I was there and I know what happened, and I didn't say anything about it. But yeah, man, it's tough to be in prison and, you know, people calling you a murderer, or, you know, people saying you killed somebody, and it's not who you even are. And I mean, and you gotta kind of take that on and take that beating from that. And yeah, man, just, you know, moving too fast, that transformation thing, trying to fit in, not really knowing who I am as a person, and it led me to do 17 years in prison, man.
Bro, I just want to humbly say, man, that's actually, man, I've been doing this work a long time, man. I've been around people even before I've been doing this work. I've been around people, bro. That's probably one of the most heartbreaking stories ever that I had to hear, and I knew it was the reason why we connected, because I actually was incarcerated for the exact same thing, not a murder, but knowing that you did not do it, and not snitching because of this fake street ethical, you know, law, this law that don't make exist, that don't even exist, don't snitch, you know. But now you away from your family, your friends, females, and you ain't going to, you know, doing the same things that other people doing in life, you know, and you watching life pass you by, and you got to deal with this,
of course,
you know. And I just want to say, man, I feel you 100% on that, because it's a very hard pill to swallow. So I guess, man, the next thing that I wanted to ask you about this was just like, you know, just to work inside, man. I mean, how old? Well, first of all, how old were you when you went in for the first time?
I just turned 19.
You had just turned 19, so still a baby.
Still a baby. Just turned 19. Didn't know nothing about anything. Never even had prison on my radar. Even though I was in the street, because I mean I'm from there, and it's not like to say I never did anything. Yeah. But I was in the street, and I never even envisioned prison in my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even though incarceration has affected my family, I just never thought that I would be there, especially not that long. Wow. I just turned 19 and had a year in college and was about to start my second. Wow. So just having to leave college and all that. Oh, man. That shit was probably the worst feeling in the world. Oh, man, because I still didn't grasp what was happening. You know what I'm saying? I did, but I didn't, because like when you hear about the criminal justice system, I always thought that people that was in jail were actually guilty of what they did. I got an uncle that's been incarcerated. I know for a fact he was doing everything he was in jail for. You know what I'm saying? So, I never had experience, people that were incarcerated that, really didn't do it. So I always had in my mind, I ain't going up for this. Yeah, because I ain't even do it, regardless if they got who did it or not. Right. They gonna know I didn't do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right, so it didn't turn out that way. I ended up doing 17 years and also had an opportunity when I got back in on appeals. It was so crazy because my prosecutor said, "We know you didn't do it, but you do know who did it, and being though." That's the case, you're sitting in prison. So why don't you just tell us who did it? And I couldn't do it. And I still couldn't do it with my family I still couldn't. It was still something in me to say, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Even though this person was never there for me. You know what I mean? Even though this person let me fall on the sword, you know what I mean, stop my life, I still couldn't bring it in me to, turn that corner, you know what I mean? Damn. Yeah, bro. Oh, that's tough. Yeah. Was it fear that stopped you from saying anything? Or was it just, like I said, like with the young boys just having that false, no snitching attitude? No, it wasn't the no snitch thing. It was fear because, like I told you, man, I was always trying to fit in. I couldn't have that a part of who I was. Right. And I wasn't even looking like, who wants to have murderer as a part of who they are? Right. I wasn't even looking at it like that. But it was always, and when I look back on it, it was a young mentality. Even when I went back to court, my mind still was at a immature level to, who cares what they think? You know what I mean? But that's what I did. That's what I thought. So it was more out of fear of what people would think about me if I did that. Not about because it was young boys or whatever, that was our mentality. You know what I mean? But it was about that fear of, what if the people where I grew up at hear about this? Right. You know what I mean? Not even considering where my dad was and the friends I had out there, they was all saying, why don't you tell, bro? Like, that was the whole thing. You need to get out of jail. Like, I'm literally crying to me, like, bro, like, you got a whole life ahead of you. You know what's going to happen to you. And boys on this side, bro, like, you a tough boy. Like, you strong. We fuck with you for that. So, you know what I mean? It's like, again, it was like this, and that bad side always beats out the good. Yeah. Regardless, in life, it's just human nature. That negative always beats out positive if that positive isn't reinforced over and over and over and over again. Wow. That's what it was, bro. Now, just going back to just being upstate at 19. Yeah. I mean, that's scary. I mean, for anybody, any age, but 19 years old, going up there. Could you describe for the viewers, like, exactly your emotions your first couple years up there? Maybe if you want to go from day one, it don't even matter, but just the first couple of years. And it's probably crazy, you probably never even heard it, bro, but I was so numb, bro. Yeah. Like, I was looking for something. I was looking for trouble. And, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to feel that way, but I was, bro.
Yeah.
I was looking for trouble with anybody, because I was so angered, you know what I mean, at everybody. I mean, I had anger towards my family because I was always just, you know what I mean, always passed off.
Right.
I had anger towards the world. I had anger towards everything. So that transit, it was numb. I didn't even feel when I first got there. Like, and it almost was like a homecoming because I swear my whole hood was there.
For real?
When I walked on the block, Michae, we heard you was coming up.
Wow.
And it was like, all right, I'm gonna be cool. So I wasn't even afraid. And that's crazy because your mental, you would think like a normal person would be afraid.
Yeah.
But I was going through so much trauma, you know what I mean, just having that sentence held down over me and, you know, just getting my mindset to jail. I was numb, bro.
Damn.
Like, I was numb, man.
Wow. So it wasn't even, you didn't go through the normal things, the crying and all that, none of that?
At first, no. Because I had to be strong for my family. Seeing my family in the courtroom crying every day, you know what I mean? It made me not want to cry. It made me not want to show the judge that I could cry. It made me not want to show prosecutors that I wanted to cry. So anybody that was an authoritative figure was not going to see me cry.
Right.
Because I did not want them to know that this shit was breaking me inside.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you got Sully's, so it's nowhere to cry.
Yeah.
So that shit just was pent up.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So yeah, bro.
At what point in the bed did you like transition and let yourself feel those emotions?
And it's crazy, man, because it came, I was doing, I started doing like squirts, like certain organizations, and that didn't happen to 2015. So you're talking about from 2003 to all the way to 2010 or 2012, right? Hold up, yeah, about 2012. I was up in the mountains. Then I transitioned to come to Greaterford.
Okay.
And Greaterford has programming. And they did this, it was a day called the Day of Responsibility.
Okay.
Right? And people came up and they spoke about the trauma that, you know, happened to them because they were victims or either they were the offender's family and how that affected them. And, you know, hearing those stories, it made me look at the situation as a whole. It made me look at that I can't look at a system that's not perfect anyway, and just think that it happened to me. Also, I looked at, you know, that family must be hurt. They lost somebody, you know what I mean? And my family's hurt because they lost somebody.
Right.
So I started to take their emotions on, and their emotions helped me to cry. It wasn't even a cry for myself. It was a cry for them. I didn't cry for myself until I met my homie Tyree Wallace, who is the founder of MANN UP.
Okay.
He is the founder of MANN UP. He's the co-founder of MANN UP.
Okay.
So I met him, and basically, bro, it was days in prison where you'll just get up and just don't want to do nothing. Like, you had those depressing days, and we were in a college course together, and I heard him talking, and I just thought he was leaving soon.
Yeah.
Like, the way this boy was talking, you would think he was
Yeah.
leaving soon. And at the end of it, he said he had life.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that right there, bro, was a changing point for me. And I had to say to myself, like, bro, you got light at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You sitting up here feeling sorry for yourself, and you gotta get up and, you know, because you going out there.
Right.
So you gotta get your shit together, basically. You know what I mean? And that right there, and, you know, going through certain things and talking about certain issues, because we don't. But when I started to talk about the pain of being flip-flopped between parents, letting that stuff go, that hatred go, the tears just came automatic, bro. I couldn't even stop. Yeah, I couldn't even stop.
Wow, man, that is so crazy.
Yeah.
So, this was at Greaterford, right?
Yeah.
Where your programming started.
Yeah.
So is that also where Man Up started and you met the co-founder and y'all joined forces?
No, Man Up actually started at Phoenix. So
At
about
Phoenix.
2 years. Man Up is only about 2 years old.
Okay.
And it started at Phoenix with Tyree Wallace and Anthony Sutton.
Okay.
They came in, they had the idea of it, and we all got together as a collective band, and we formed it, and we made it what it was, as far as that self-empowerment that I was telling you about.
Gotcha.
So once we transferred from Graterford, because they shut it down, and we entered Phoenix, this is where this idea and had come together. Yeah.
Gotcha. So for somebody who doesn't know what Man Up is or what you guys stand for, what exactly are the activities and the mission statement, what you guys are trying to accomplish? Like, give us a detailed description of what Man Up is.
All right, Man Up, well, it's levels to Man Up.
Okay.
Because it started in levels, it started in fragments, and we just pieced it together as it went. But the main staple, the main ingredient that we sought out to get was that there was just too much violence going on in the inner city.
Oh.
And we were trying to figure out why are these things happening in our inner city? What is wrong with, the people where it's going on, where you just killing everything moving? And we came up with, a 15-session course, as you would say. And these 15 sessions range from masculinity, toxic masculinity, community restoration. We do bridging the gap, whatever that may mean. It might be a parent to a son. It might be a community to, a person that was incarcerated. Bridging the gap. We women up, so empowerment of women, because we just thought that these were all the things that were missing. So it began as self-empowerment. It began as self-awareness. Because what we saw was that, the DOC and, they rehabilitation plan, it just dealt with people on to look at your past first before you start with yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, you're getting rewarded for doing the right thing, but then you're getting punished for doing the wrong thing. So what we looked at is you can't look at your past before you deal with yourself.
Right.
Because even if you did look at your past, you're not going to be in the right mindset to even deal with what happened. So we wanted to make it transformational. So we looked at it as being a transformational plan or model instead of rehabilitation. So you deal with yourself, and then you're able to go back and see what was caused by, the things that you've done in the past. And it started out that way. It started out as self-awareness, 15 sessions, bringing men in this room, 350 men, sitting there telling their stories, crying, sobbing, all types of stuff, just having breakthroughs. And then it just evolved. Secondly, it evolved into re-entry. And because we saw that we had to keep this connection with these men when they left out, because it's basically, I'm my brother's keeper. What you do is going to reflect on me. What I do is going to reflect on you. How can you help me out? How can you save your community? So we all came to an agreement that we had to have some type of, re-entry process where we was not just teaching these people how to be better men and change a mindset, but what were they going to have as a resource when they got out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we went into that. So that was the second phase. And the third phase was going back to that mindset, that idea that we had as far as why was there all this gun violence? Why was there all these murders and all these things going in the city? So we came up with a plan to combat gun violence. And we've been working with the DA, Larry Krasner, and lead detective G. Lamar Stewart on an actual gun violence initiative. And it has phases. And, what we did was we just told them, and we brought that plan, and we told them how we could combat it. So we would have, special elite teams, community engagement. We would have elite reentry laborers. We would have elite counselors, guidance counselors that would go inside of the school and teach the kids the value of education.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the elite reentry, you would go out and grab resources and, you know, for job opportunities and things like that. And basically, that's how MANN UP formed what it was today.
Right,
and inside of our sessions, we do things like put on skits.
No, that's
You know what I
dope.
mean? We do artwork, so it's therapy through art. So, you know, if you was going through something, you paint about it. And it's everything in prison. You know what I mean? I saw one of your other interviews and you had Suave on there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was in jail with Suave, and you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? So we use so many talented people. We had to figure out a way where you could get your talent out and get it out. Even if you couldn't speak with words, let it come through your art. Let it come through a song, whatever you want to do, a skit. And we just found that process to be successful. You know what I mean? Because what's happening out there in society is that your voice is not heard.
Right.
And a lot of us are angry, and you know we're committing crimes out of anger and don't even know why. You know what I mean? And so our intention was just to find a reason why.
Right.
And if we find the reason why, we can fix the problem.
That's what's up, man, for real. So where do you, like, in your vision, like, where do you see MANN UP going now that you out?
I see it being life changing, bro. I see it everywhere because I think every hood, and not hood in the negative sense, because everybody come from a hood, regardless if it's in a suburb or it's a neighborhood. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, even with me, some of the challenges that I had growing up, I think somebody needs to hear that.
Right.
You know what I mean? A person that's going back and forth with his parents and might think that, you know, there's no love there. Need to hear that story coming from somebody that's credible.
Yeah.
Even if you're living in a 2-parent home and you got a father that's just not present, even though he's there, you need to hear that it's not about you. You know what I mean? You need to hear that it's not a guidebook on parenting. Nobody has the perfect solution to it, and you need to deal with that. And you know what I mean? I see it going everywhere, to every neighborhood, to wherever it's needed. I see it going. You know what I mean? So.
Yo, that's dope. I feel like MANN UP just has so much potential and is led by some real genuine people that have no egos, that have no reputations they're trying to build. It's just people that just genuinely want to help.
Yeah.
You don't find that a lot anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't find that. So I definitely want to salute you, man, and all that you guys do with MANN UP. But I definitely want to ask you another question, man, about just like what you're seeing now from 17 years ago, 03, it might have been a lot, well, it really has been different than what you see now. Right. You came out here in a pandemic, global pandemic. Number 2 is, what is it, October? Right. And we're over Philadelphia. When I say we, Philadelphia is over 300 homicides right now. Exactly. So like, just as one of the people that try to combat the gun violence and the violence period in the community, like, what's your opinion on just like, and what do you think the cause is of like all this violence going on around Philadelphia that you had to come out to? Well, for one, the pandemic was negative and positive for me. Negative because it's hard to reach people. Yeah. But positive is because it gave me a chance to readjust at a slower pace. It's definitely different technology-wise. From 03, I had a Nextel chirp. the big dumb highway Jones. So I had a chirp. And now I got an iPhone that got to look at my face to open up. Right. So it's definitely has been a big change. But I found like the most challenging thing was to just reintegrate myself back inside of my family. Because they have this vision of who I was when I was 18 or 19. And now I'm 36, about to be 37 in 2 weeks, and I'm a different person. They have to get adjusted to that.
and I have to get adjusted to showing them who I am.
Right.
And that's been the biggest process for me, to just feel comfortable now that I'm back in society and I have to be a man for the first time in my life.
Right.
Never had to be a man ever in my life, and it's hard at times. It's hard at times, and I mean sometimes it gets difficult, but I do have a good squad behind me that's pushing me. As far as gun violence, there's so many things that it could be. It's not just that there's no jobs here. It's not that. It's way more profound than that. I think that in society today, nobody cares about each other.
Right.
There's no concern for, the next man, his life, his property, anything.
Right.
So I think there's certain morals that are missing out of society, and one of the things that we want to do at Man Up is we want to install that back. We want to install back that it's okay to go outside and help your neighbor, an old lady, bring her groceries in. It's cool to pick up trash on your block. It's cool to have pride in where you come from. You know what I mean? And be not get looked at for a person that is going out and he a gat. You know what I mean? Because he got this big gun and he can shoot everything up and people are afraid of him.
Right.
We want to put back in the minds that you want the people to look at you as a person they can go through or go to when times is hard.
Right.
I mean, I want people to say, I want to go to Mike. Mike can help you out with that. Not go to Mike because Mike he know where all the guns is at. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
I just think that we got to get back to a place where there's morals back inside of society, especially our society, our community here in Philadelphia.
Definitely.
I mean, there's a neglect for life. There's a neglect for everything because it's a selfish society right now.
Right.
And we got to get back to a point where we think about our next man.
Right. So. Man, man, that's fucking deep for real. That's deep. I just want everybody to know, man, that this was one of the best interviews I've ever done. I really want you to tell the viewers, how can they support Man Up? Where can they donate? Like, just give them all the information on Man Up, because this is an organization that even I just, working on out from the outside looking in, because I'm not a part of the organization, but I just see it as being a community-changing organization, an organization that, could work even as a diversion program. So instead of people going into prison, they go to a Man Up program and get the skills that they need to right their wrongs and just see the error in their ways and learn ways in which they can change that.
Right.
So what are some of your social media tags and ways that people can donate to be a part of Man Up?
All right, well, you can follow us on Instagram at SCI Phoenix Man Up. You could also follow me on Instagram, Drippin' Magazine. I created it. It's a criminal justice magazine that I created with Tyree Wallace, the co-founder of Man Up. And you could follow that page. As far as donations, you could donate 1207 Chestnut Street at the Institute of Community Justice and just put on there that it's for Man Up, as well as just going out in your community and doing something that's positive. That's how you can help Man Up. That's how you can help spread the message that we want to spread, to restore your community, to be a pillar in your community so that it could be better for the next generation. You know what I mean? So that's how you can help Man Up, and just going out and doing your part in your society and being a good vessel, a good example of what it is to be an upstanding person. That's all we need, bro.
Word. Well, yo, thanks again, man, for this amazing interview. I'll definitely be in touch, man. Another episode in the books. With time we can. We out. Peace.